Hey everybody, welcome back to the Matt Greer Music Channel. Today I wanted to talk about pocket operators and in particular case options that are out there and available for these different things. So I'm going to talk about different types of cases, kind of give you just my thoughts on each of the different sort of styles because they kind of come from different approaches. This is in no way a scientific test, it's basically just my musings and having used these for a while. But if you have pocket operators, if you're curious about cases, you might find this helpful. So here we have a basic pocket operator, just with no case. It's naked. It's naked as a jailbird, as they would say where I'm from. If you're not from the southeast United States, you're like, what did he just say? But yeah, and these are fine, totally functional. You can just use them like that if you want to. I've had ones, they last for years, they're totally fine. But the cases do add some options for protection, as well as, in my opinion, it improves the usability as well. So I'm going to talk about three different types here now. If you go on the internet and you search for pocket operator case, there are tons of options out there. There's a lot of like DIY stuff. If you 3D print, you can get plans very easily to make your own. There's tons of people on Etsy that make them. There's lots of small little boutique shops that are making different versions. But there's a ton out there, but they kind of usually fall into three different camps. One being like the original. This is like the official silicone case sold by Teenage Engineering. So you've got that, obviously, it's out there. Then you have, this is a 3D printed case. This is kind of like, this is one of the more robust options that I've come across, but it kind of takes the pocket operator and sort of turns it into a more robust piece of hardware. And then you have something like this that is sort of kind of a hybrid kind of solution, I guess. It seems very factory made, but it's also got some elements to it that seem rather DIY as well. So let's see, I'll go ahead and I'll start by talking about the silicone case. Now these are sold, again, like I said, by Teenage Engineering. They used to have a different case for each model of pocket operator, so the symbols would change, but now I think they just sell one case that's for all of them. But what I do like about it, I'll talk about the pluses first, is it protects the unit very well. It's kind of hard to tell, and I'm not going to take it off because they're hard to get back on, but there's, on each end, there's some thickness of rubber there. So if this were to fall and land on a corner, it would do a pretty good job of protecting it and probably not breaking. I also like how these rubber caps kind of go around the battery compartment. They clip on very nice. Plus the fit and finish is just, it's great. It feels very premium. It is definitely on par with the nicest phone cases that are out there. I would put this right up there with them. The symbols and everything, that's kind of cool too. But so yeah, in terms of protection and quality, it's very, very good. Now in terms of usability, I have to admit, I don't like the feel of these buttons. I find them kind of, I don't know, there's just not the tactileness of them. You just don't feel much. I find them difficult to play on when you're trying to play in patterns and sequences. Also when the light, it's kind of hard to see the lights coming through unless you're looking right at it. Like from my angle here, my head's back a little bit, like over this way, and I can't see the lights. I have to be looking at it directly like this to see them. So that's kind of a problem. So honestly, in terms of usability, it's easier to use a pocket operator like this, in my opinion, than use the rubber case. But it looks great, and it does a good job of protecting the unit. I'll move on to this one next. This is, again, it's 3D printed. These knobs are, I just put these on there myself. It didn't come with it. But everything here was 3D printed. The buttons were 3D printed. It's basically two parts. It has screws on the back, and you can put the pocket operator inside and then screw it back together. And it turns it into this like whole solid, like, I don't know, I guess it feels kind of like a calculator, but yeah, it's got a nice feel. These buttons add a lot of tactile resistance to the buttons. It's much easier to play things. I can very easily with this unit hold down the record while I'm playing a live sequence or live pattern into the sequencer. And so yeah, it's just got a great feel to it. It looks nice. It definitely makes, in this case, the KO stand out a little bit more, just because it's tailored for that. It looks good. It feels like, well, I guess more of a finished product. So yeah, also quite a bit of thickness around the edges. You can see next to one that has nothing on it, there's quite a lot on both ends. And there's no handle in here either. The handle's already broken off, so you've got, you know, a good centimeter around the top and bottom, and then probably half a centimeter on either side. So quite a bit of protection around it as well. It doesn't actually cover the screen, but it is inset, so it would be very hard to drop this and damage the screen. The knobs, you know, those always stick out, so those could get hurt. But I think this would offer a lot of protection if I dropped it. The only drawback really that I have with this one is that to get, after these batteries run out, to get to the batteries, I have to undo these screws again, take it apart, replace the batteries, and then put it back together. So, kind of annoying, I have to admit, and these screws were not the easiest to get in and out. But, you know, pocket operator batteries actually last quite a long time, so it's not something that you're going to have to do all the time. But, you know, if that annoys you, you might not want to get this one. There are a lot of 3D printed things that are thinner. They're kind of modeled more after this style, where it's sort of just like a thin layer that goes across the whole thing. Which with that, the batteries would still be exposed. But having a whole housing around it, it's pretty nice. It definitely makes the product feel very finished. So yeah, I like this one. I'm going to leave links for all of these in the description so you can check them out yourself if you want to. Third final on my list that I have is this one by Dich Studios. I think it's Dich, D-I-C-H. It might be Dich, but I think it's Dich. Studios.com. And this one, to me, is kind of the best of both worlds. It has an excellent tactile feel on the buttons. I mean, they just have this really reassuring click when you push them that just feels good when you're working with the pocket operator. You also have this the access to the batteries is still there. One thing I really like what this seller does is they give you these great rubber feet that are thick and knobby, and even on this glass table it's really difficult for me to slide this, which if you've ever been trying to use a pocket operator with headphones, your cord keeps pulling the thing off the desk because they're so lightweight. That never happens with this. Some drawbacks though, it's exposed on the side. So, you know, it's not going to really do anything to protect from water or anything like that. I think it would do a good job protecting it if you dropped it. However, this plastic, it might crack or break. I don't know. It seems kind of like, what do you call that? Plexiglass? Resin? I don't know. It does cover the screen, though, so you get some protection there. But yeah, in terms of ergonomics, this is probably my favorite. I had this on my KO before for a long, long time, and I've put it on my Tonic now, but I really liked using this case. This one's probably the best all-arounder. Again, the battery thing is kind of annoying. Maybe I can cut an access panel, I don't know. But other than that, this thing is great. I really like this case. Some rubber feet would have been nice. They did give you this kind of rubberized felt thing that helps it not slide a little, but it's not as good as this. And then, of course, hate to say it, sorry Teenage Engineering, but their official case is my least favorite of the three. So, yep, anyway, just my opinions on some cases. Like I said, there's a ton of other options out there that you can find, but I think you're going to find it's either going to be something like this, it's going to be some type of 3D printed option, and those will vary significantly, or something where it's kind of like this layered sandwich approach. There's some out there that are made of wood. They kind of do this. So, just my opinions on the different pluses and minuses of the different cases, and hopefully you'll find something that makes you love your pocket operators even more. All right, well, that's it for that. As always, I'm going to play us out with a little jam on this guy. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll answer those below in the comments. As always, thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.